FBT in VRCHAT. Now, if you've been living under a rock and you don't know what FBT stands for, it stands for full body tracking. So full body tracking, you have a bunch of trackers on your body and they track your body in the game. FBT doesn't exactly describe all the ways that you can be tracked or estimated. There's also FBE, which I believe stands for full body estimation, but it also could stand for something else. I don't know. I should know. But anyway, so there's been a lot of discourse and debate on what the best tracker is. Now, let me tell you a secret. None of them are the best tracker. Now, I have Vive 3.0s. What I usually tell people when they ask about my trackers and my tracking and what's the best tracker to get, I usually tell them, well, in my opinion, ultimately, Vive trackers are going to be the best. But it depends what kind of VRCHAT player you are. Because I've seen great full body tracking used with VSO. And if you don't know what VSO is, it uses your phone to track your body. And usually it sucks ass. But because of that type of VRCHAT player that person was, it looked really great. Maybe I'm a little biased about the Vive trackers because I've been wanting them for so long and I only gotten them recently. And I was a VSO user previously. Showing on my TikTok if you want to see that embarrassment. But anyway, there's always issues with all different kinds of trackers. The charging time, the battery life, whether they actually track good, how easy it is to break them. Literally, every tracker has a problem. You're not going to find the perfect tracker, but it's about finding the perfect tracker for you. So today we're going to figure out what the perfect tracker is for you. There's a lot of things to consider, like your budget, how much patience you have, and how you treat your electronics, I guess. Yeah. So we're going to divide this in a few groups. What equipment you have, your standards/priorities, and what kind of VRCHAT gamer you are. First, we're going to start off with standards and priorities. Your budget, the durability level you want.
Hey, it's Editor Kip here. I actually blanked and had no idea what I was supposed to say next because this isn't scripted at all. So, editing over this, I was like, ooh, kind of didn't really touch up on that. But essentially, what I just said, the standards and priorities, but then also thinking about what you want the battery life to be and if you move around a lot, etc., and what would fit you best. But you get to make that decision on your own. So this is just my recommendations for the type of player you are, etc.
Equipment. Most people who play VRCHAT are on a standalone Quest headset. What that means is they're not connected to a PC. So they either don't have a PC or their PC isn't powerful enough to run VRCHAT. Being standalone Quest, it really limits your options to how many forms of tracking you can use, but there's still options out there. If you don't have a PC at all, I would suggest Hardtour X or any FBE app. Maybe not any. I recommend VSO over all of them because it's free and has the best tracking from my experience. But Pinot Quest does have really good tracking, and for a while it was better than VSO. And then there's this other one, never got it to work. So with these FBE apps, there's a lot of things to consider. You have to look the same way the entire time you're playing or your tracking's gonna go crazy. You have to wear clothing that isn't too loose or it's gonna have a hard time tracking. Your background has to be distinct enough or clean enough for your camera to not confuse it with a human. I don't know if that makes sense. That's all things you have to consider. Pinot Quest has a yearly subscription for I think about $3. I could be wrong. I'll put the actual price on here if I'm wrong. VSO and FBT, DFD, whatever the hell, those are free. The biggest downside that I found from using FBE apps is that I can't use my phone, and trying to use an iPad kind of sucks boo-boo. Also, you have to figure out a way to charge your phone while having it prompt up if you play for long hours. I suggest going Five Below and finding a phone stand. Now, Hardtour X. So that one is more expensive. That's because you have to buy trackers and then you have to download an app to connect the trackers to so you can be tracked. I've not heard much about it, but I did have a few friends that had Hardtour X and they'd rather be half body than with the trackers. I've also heard with Hardtour X you have to recalibrate every 20 minutes, but I've also heard that with FBE apps. And personally, how I had it set up, I barely had to recalibrate. Those are basically all of your options if you're standalone Quest without a PC, but if you have a PC but you're just not able to play on it, you have the pleasure of being able to buy slime trackers. Now, slime trackers work with standalone Quest as long as you have a PC to get to the website to download the app to have on your desktop to log into. to connect the trackers to. That sounds like a lot, but I swear it isn't. I'm gonna put the price on the screen because honestly, guys, I don't know how much any of this stuff costs because this is unscripted. So, really professional, right? Yeah. Anyway, again, I've only used VSO, Pino, and Vive 3.0s. So I don't have experience with these other ones, but what I can tell you from observing my friends like a freak in my fucking arm is I've gathered that the tracking's pretty good. I mean, I've been told that and I've seen videos, but from watching my friends like actually use them, it's a lot different than what they show you in the videos. Not to say that it's bad or it could use some work, but like I said, there's no perfect tracker. That doesn't exist. 2 issues that I've seen with slime trackers is that they break easily, and then the second one is kind of more like niche, I guess. But I've noticed if my friends are dancing or moving around a lot, they are prone to going through the ground because of how fast they're moving, and the slime trackers track themselves, so I guess it gets confused and they go through the ground. I don't know if that makes sense, but you're going in and out of the ground when you're moving a lot. Now, if you have a Quest headset and you are connected to a PC and you're playing PC VR with a Quest headset, I guess we're called Questies. I was not aware of this until recently. Apparently, we're still called Questies even though we're not standalone. But anyway, so you still have all the options from previously. To be honest, if you're PC VR, there's no limit to what trackers you can use. So I guess you could choose whatever other options I was talking about previously. Now you have the options of all these different Vive trackers and then Tundra trackers. However, since Vive and Tundra trackers use lighthouse tracking, you're gonna have to install this thing called Space Calibrator. So what Space Calibrator does, it calibrates your trackers for you so it can connect to your headset. A lot of people recommend getting an extra tracker to put right on your head so you can have better tracking. I don't really care. I only have 3. So every time you open Steam VR, you're gonna have to do this little song and dance move every time before you play, but with your tracker in your hand. It'll give you like information on how to do that. I just don't feel like taking my trackers off. Sometimes you do have to keep doing this over and over again when you're playing. It doesn't happen a lot, but if you are a Quest player and you know of the button right here that you hold to like recenter your view, do not use it. If you're new to PC VR and you're coming from standalone Quest and you've been using this button to realign where you're looking, do not use it. Do not use it, bro. It's gonna mess up your tracking and you're gonna have to do Space Calibrator again. Not that it's a pain in the ass, but who wants to do that? Oh yeah, that reminds me. With the FBE, this button's actually really helpful with realigning yourself. So just sit down, hold down this button, and try to align your legs with your VR legs. Also, with lighthouse tracking, you're gonna have to do the manual labor of getting a ladder and drilling your base stations into the wall. Also, don't plug your base stations in before you put them up, because with lighthouse tracking and like the moving sensors inside of the box, it's really sensitive. If it's on and you're moving it, you can fuck it up and you have to buy new ones. So, I know that sounds scary. I don't mean to fearmonger. Like, these trackers are great. But just be careful, alright? Like, literally all you have to do is just drill the base station into your wall, plug it in up there, go down, plug it in down there, and then just don't touch it. If you need to move it, just unplug it, and then go back up, unplug it, take that shit down, move it. The only complaint I have about lighthouse tracking is that if you go over it, the tracker, I mean, it fucks up. But, you know, it connects right back once your base stations and the lasers can see your tracker. Sorry, excuse me. I almost forgot about Vive Ultimates. Those do not use lighthouse tracking, so you can just have them. I don't know how to set them up. From what I've seen, they're pretty shit. They're like slime trackers, but a little bit worse. The great thing about Vive Ultimates and slime trackers as a whole is that you can go under your blankets. But if you don't really care about that, then don't get Vive Ultimates. They kind of suck. With Tundra trackers, I've heard they're really good. I've seen that they're really good. They're super smooth. They're similar to these. I feel like, I hate to say this because I'm a little biased, but I feel like Tundra trackers are better than Vives. But, you know, they're still on the same playing field. Now, the moment you've all been waiting for. what is the best tracker for you specifically despite your equipment? We're gonna group this up into 3 categories: the casual player, the hyperactive player, and the VR athlete. Now, what is a casual player? A casual player is just someone that lays back, relaxes, doesn't really do much moving. They're just here to socialize. They're not really moving around a lot. They're here to chill, here to hang, here to make friends, to socialize, whatever. Honestly, just get FBE. It's free. You're not doing much. You're just sitting there. If you're okay with not having your phone, because you'll be socializing in VRCHAT, just get FBE. Or if you really want to, you can get slime trackers. No one's really stopping you if you can. Not Horatora. Get that shit out of here. Now, for the hyperactive player are the players that like to get up, move around, have fun and stuff, and be super animated, and then be very in the moment all the time, and just shit like that. They don't just sit around all day. They're pretty active and they're pretty hyper. For these people, I honestly suggest slime trackers or better, but mainly slime trackers because you're not going to be moving around a whole lot like the VR athletes, but you'll be moving around enough to the point where your enthusiastic body language should be shared or could be shared or whatever. I heavily recommend slime trackers because it's cheaper. Since you're not going to be doing as much movement as the VR athletes, your slimes won't break as easily, and also you won't be clipping through the ground. You're great, you'll be fine. And also, you can use slime trackers on a standalone quest if you have a PC. And my fucking what the fuck is that? Now, for the big daddy VR athletes. These people, they like to go above and beyond with their trackers. They really like to push the limits. They like to do backflips, cartwheels, pole dancing, regular dancing, fighting, whatever it may be. Just really extra crazy shit. For these people, honestly, put your money's worth into getting some lighthouse tracking, because honestly, that's just the best kind of tracking for your player type. So are all the other ones. There's no one tracker that can fulfill every single need. The more or the less that you move around will determine how long your battery life is. The kind of person you are and how you handle your electronics and your valuables reflects on if your trackers will break, even though some are more durable than others, and your play style. All of these are things to consider when thinking about getting a tracker, because I see a lot of people wasting their money on trackers they don't even use, or they don't have an interest on getting on VRCHAT in VR at all. Either way, I suggest that you start off with FBE and then decide what kind of tracker or tracking you want in the future. So there you go. That's your answer. There's no best tracker. There's the best tracker for you. For some extra stuff, if there's other videos you want to reference, like from Quiz Reality or this person, I'm so sorry, I forgot your name, but I will put your video up here. Before I let you guys go, just to let you know that down in the description, there's links to different things that are going to be super helpful. Thank you guys so much for listening to me ramble for this long, and I hope that I was helpful. If I was, let me know by leaving a comment or giving this video a like. And I'll see you guys on the next one.